What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? This is the second episode of Power Book Merv and Stack Show featuring Mark Review. On the left, we got Monet, we got Sax, we got Tariq, we got Tasha, and we got Davis. They're heading off this second episode. They're the new established stars of the Power Book Ghost 2 series that we're going to talk about and review with the second episode. Can't wait to dive in this with my guys. We're gonna bring it to you. We're going some good details. Talk about different angles that you might not have thought about. Some people gonna be upset. Some people might agree with what we said. Some people gonna be ready to argue. Like our homeboy Sean. No, he still think Ghosts alive. After this episode, man, we might have to talk about that, Sean. Hope everybody got their popcorn ready. What's up, guys?
Right. Chilling. What's going on, gentlemen?
Same old. You know, I'm doing what I normally do. I'm drinking. Shit.
All right, bro. And you bringing it up, man. What you sipping on this evening, man?
Hey, I switched up this time, man. I've been drinking white for a minute. All right. Okay. I usually stay away from the brown unless I'm trying to have one of them fucking nights. I'm not trying to have one of them fucking nights, but I'm switching up. You know, I'm on my Crown Royal. Apple, Crown Apple. Now, when you do Crown Apple, listen, everybody. When you get Crown Apple, you got to mix that motherfucker with Canada Dry ginger ale. All right? Canada Dry. Not no Schreps, not no Seagrams, none of that bullshit. Canada Dry ginger ale.
Let me find you getting kickbacks, man. Let me find you getting kickbacks from Canada Dry ginger ale, man.
Shit is lovely, I'm telling you.
What you got? What you sipping on tonight, Mark?
You know what I'm saying? Well, you know what, Merv, I'm keeping it in the Crown family, actually. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I got Crown Vanilla.
The vanilla.
Yeah, I got Crown Vanilla, man. You know, the bottle was hiding from me. I was just looking through some shit, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? I still got half a bottle left. Hold up. You know, so pull that out tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? Just like we talking power. So, you know, it's always a feel-good mood when you talking power, man. So had to go there.
Absolutely, Mark. That's what's up. I'm sipping on. I'm a creature of habit. Y'all know I'm still trying to finish off this bottle of Kettle One. But today, it's been a rough day, man. It's been a styrofoam cup day, man. I'm sorry. You can say what you want, but I'm styrofoam cupping it today, man. That's how I'm doing. It's been a rough day. My day is about to get better.
Styrofoam cup.
Yeah, man. I had to go to styrofoam cup today, man. It's been one of them days.
Real old school with that right there.
Nah, man, you can't get no fucking red cup. You can't get no fucking red cup.
I have the solo cups, man. Can I just do a styrofoam? I'm going through it today, man. Let's get into it. But we know what I'm drinking. I'm drinking the Kettle One. Okay, y'all know we like to break down the show by 4 quarters.
Right.
What we're going to do first is do a quick recap of last week's episode. Which one of y'all want to take us there where we left off in episode 1 of Power Book 2 Ghosts?
Mark, you want to take this?
Man, you know, it's kind of like, you know, with the recap, you know, you look back at episode 1 and everything is kind of lining up. You're seeing, you know, what kind of all the characters play. And you really, you know, for me, I'm really interested in just following what Tariq's doing because it all revolves around him. And you just seeing, you know, just how he was moving and shaking in that first episode. And it's just like, all right. So I think now, you know, I'm thinking like in my head, I'm like, before we got to episode 2, now we're going to start to involve the other characters a little bit more. But it was really, you know, episode 1 was really about Tariq being able to move and shake so well in that first episode and get all the business done. Now it's going to open up to some of the newer characters and just, you know, seeing how they're going to revolve around Tariq and how they're going to move through the series. That's how that was my take from episode 1. You know, it was really about Tariq just establishing himself, and I think he did that very well.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think we left off at Tasha being Tasha with her foot and mouth disease, implicating herself. Yeah, we got to talk about that, y'all. She pretty much walked herself into Sax's grimy ass RICO charge, along with John Marc and I think the dude's last name is Ott, the dude from the DNC.
Stephen Ott. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah, Stephen Ott. She pretty much walked right into it, as Tasha always. We got a lot of Team Tasha fans out there that hate Angela. I'm sorry. Tasha always opens her mouth and makes the situation better. I said what I said. You can comment. You can comment and you can say what you want, but Tasha always makes the situation worse. That's why when I'm gonna mention Tasha in the light of Tasha being Tasha, because she has moments where she always makes the situation work. That goes back to old power. But not to beat a dead horse. Y'all want to get to this first quarter real quick?
Yeah, we're gonna get. Okay, I just gotta say one thing. Who the fuck in court says? Because I asked that nigga to kill him. Who says that shit? We ain't gonna talk about it. I'm just venting. We not gonna talk about it. But who the fuck in court says? Why did you ask him? Why did he kill him? Who the fuck says? Because I asked him to. And she said like dumbass because I asked him to. Who says that shit? We ain't gotta talk about it because it's last week. But goddamn, who does that shit?
Hey Mark, like being said on the end of 1-900-HUSTLER, what is this? The Get Indicted hotline?
yeah, I know, right?
Myself, like, what is she doing? I wasn't gonna bring that up, Merv. I was gonna try to take it easy on her, but let's move on, man. And then,
let's move forward, man. God damn.
Yeah, the first quarter really starts off with Tasha. She's having a meeting with Davis McClain. And new character, I think that pop up. Her name is Paula Marzano. She's Davis. She's Davis McClain's investigator. She's an investigator for him. They let her know off the rip that payment is due. And Tasha, being Tasha again, admitted that Jamie was ghost. So Davis moves to tell her, look, he pretty much tell her, you the reason why your ass got that queen pin charge, which was nothing but facts. And she dry snitches on herself about helping Ghost and Tommy move weight. I just don't get it. So
yeah, the mother talking about I may have done some book. I may have signed off some books, and Davis immediately says, "Whoa, all right, you don't stand right now." Like Davis don't even want his investigator to know every fucking thing. Davis just want his investigator. All I need you to do, you just find the information on them motherfuckers. Don't worry about my client. Right. But then she fall for that trap when she was like, "Well, you have the same privilege with me. What you tell me, I can't tell anybody else. So don't worry about it." Davis want her to be on a need to know basis, and that's it. All you need to know, find me some motherfucking information to hurt the people we're going against. Don't worry about my fucking clients.
They just don't know the whole story. Mainly because they got two characters. They got Tariq and Tasha who ain't telling them everything. What you got on that, Mark, man? Tasha just pissing me off, man.
I'm like, man, it's crazy because it's just like it's so much there, right? And you got to think about all the trials that happened in the original series, right? So Tasha's caught up in all of that, and then Davis is slowly finding out all of this. But you're right, he does not want his investigator to know anything. Like, listen, he wants to take on this case because it's a big ass case. He wins, he's the man. So. I'm just like, listen, his investigator don't even want him to do the case. Like, you need to walk away from him. Look, Tasha a liar, so is the son. Right? I'm just like, listen, but, I mean, the way that I feel, I'm just like, look, what Davis has to do is just he's going to steer her, he's going to maneuver her, through this thing, and then we're going to see what the outcome is. But anytime he goes in to talk to her, he should always say, look, you talking like you're under oath. You know what I'm saying? Don't just you need to always do that, because I'm like, Tasha just be spilling the beans about everything. I mean, when you talk about somebody getting in their own way, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, that's like somebody walking with 2 left feet. Seriously, it's a real problem.
And to caveat on that, Mark, she not only dry snitch on herself as far as helping out Tommy and Coach, but she indirectly watching it on herself about the drug deals she was making at the daycare. They asked her.
She told.
I'm thinking, oh my goodness, are you serious?
Hey, and the old girl caught that shit too. Yeah. Why you clarifying?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely, man.
Moving right along, the next scene takes us to Tariq and Zeke. They're in their room. It's almost like Tariq is this motherfucker's handler, man, because Tariq is telling them, hey, man, make sure you read this fucking report that I did for you. For those of you that don't know, Tariq is pretty much, they're calling him a tutor, but he's pretty much doing his course load along with Zeke Cross's course load because he's a famous basketball player. And he shows up late once again, and a lot of you who love Love and Hip will probably appreciate this next scene as light-skinned Keisha debuts as Broshandria Carmichael, and she's in the smart kids class, but she is so good, and she's not here for it. She cursing out cats out the gate. Anybody want to speak?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. I gotta admit,
man, that was hilarious. I mean, she just was going in. Anybody even said anything to her, she was just going in. I'm just like, you know what? Don't even say anything to her because I'm like, you just gonna catch it. And she was catching everybody. You know, she was definitely catching everybody. Hey, Tariq, of course, you know what I'm saying? He walks into the same shit that he did before, right? You know, he starts to answer a question. Lauren hits him with another question, and then the professor like, oh, that's because you ain't read the book again. I'm just like, oh, Lord. Yeah, I mean, shoot. So he called him out. He like, yo, you know some easy remedial courses you could take, like instead of this one. Like, you know, he went there and Brushandri or whatever. She was just like, oh man, Professor Reynolds got time today. I'm like, oh man, she just went in. I'm like, yo, Tariq was just catching it left and right. Oh man, I'm like, you got to get with these classes, man. Seriously, you got to get with these classes.
Hey, listen, who the fuck names their daughter Brushandria?
Hey, come on now. We all into the hood. We done heard all them names before.
Yo,
we done heard
hey, she went in on Richard.
Hey, but it's good to see a sister from the hood and I ain't even gonna call it honors classes. That's like the way advanced, super smart classes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Canonical studies or whatever they call it. So Lauren blows up his spot. She apologizes, but she assumes that Tariq has read the book. I mean, after all, he didn't read the last one, so she's trying to keep the conversation going, like Mark said. But she blows up his spot, apologizes. Tariq takes responsibility. And y'all gonna hate me for this, man, but I understand what Tariq is going through, man. He got a lot of stuff going on, so I'm gonna go ahead and give Tariq a pass. I'm gonna give him a lot of passes going forward, so y'all gonna hate me for it. But Merv, you ain't gotta look at me like that, bro. I'm gonna give him a pass.
Hey, no. Listen, I give him a pass too. But you know why I'm looking like? You know why I'm looking at that? You know why I'm looking like that? Because again, y'all remember I think it was the last week. What did I tell y'all? Destroy civilizations and destroy great things. Pussy. He wouldn't have been if he didn't flirt with that goddamn girl. She would have never asked that goddamn question in the first place because she was asking that question because he's showing interest, she's showing interest. So if he ain't never flirt with the motherfucking girl, she would never ask him that goddamn question, trying to impress his ass and shit like that, and got his ass in trouble. Well, hey, goddamn, boy.
Yeah. He could have sat anywhere in that classroom. He could have just walked in, just sat down,
right by her. Hey, but you know what? I'm talking all this shit. I would have sat by her ass too.
Exactly. I'm pulling you in that. Exactly.
And Mervin, I'm sure we got a lot of fans out there, especially a lot of ladies out there that hate her by default because we're coining her the new Angie. We're coining her the new Angie.
Yeah, so we all coining her the new Angie.
I'm pretty sure she already feels made from that. So moving right along, the next scene is when Davis and Tariq meets up after he talks to his mother. He lets Tariq know that he does not believe a damn word that his mother is saying. He's not getting nothing out of Tariq. So he asked Tariq to deliver his dad's eulogy. Funny thing is he tell him he need to blow up his dad's spot. And he's kind of conflicted on that. And he told him pretty much, hey, it's your mom's life or your dad's legacy. He told him to grow some balls. What y'all think about that?
Man, that was so crazy. That was so crazy. You know, I mean, the way I look at it, I'm just like, listen, I get why he said it, but it's just like, man, you know, to blow your dad up like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, yo, to blow him up like he never did anything good for him, and he was just like an evil motherfucker the whole time. That's crazy. I kind of really wasn't feeling that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think that he should have blown him, that he should blow him up like that. I think, he should just kind of speak his truth of whatever his truth is and leave it at that if he was going to do the eulogy. And at that point, we didn't really know. But I mean, just to light him on fire, I didn't agree with that. I wasn't really feeling that, from
Hold on. Okay. But check it, right? What our grandmas and our great grandmas and our great grandmas used to tell us or pass it down for her to tell us? All right, what's the old cliche saying? You dance with the devil, sooner or later you're going to get fucking burned. The mother Tariq was looking for a fucking lawyer that didn't care about knowing all the truth, willing to do whatever the fuck is needed to win his goddamn case. Motherfucker, he basically made a deal with the fucking devil. This kind of remind me of Devil's Advocate a little bit. I don't know if y'all seen that movie. Great fucking movie. If you haven't, check it out.
Yeah.
So that didn't surprise me at all, and it didn't surprise him. And actually, it makes fucking sense because that man can't tell no tales. So if they put every fucking thing on him and just make him seem like this evil, grimy monster that'll kill anybody moving, even family, and make it seem like Tasha was in a domestic, scared relationship, this shit could work. So I mean, that's kind of lawyer you wanted.
I mean, and I'm not going to disagree, but it's crazy because he has that conversation with Davis in the very next scene. He has the conversation with Simon Stern, which is the complete opposite.
We're gonna get to that.
So I was just like, that was I liked how they fused that in.
The contrast
so to make him think like of what he should do. I like that.
The last part now, just Davis being fucking Davis. He really has no fucking sympathy about whatever. Only thing he cares about is money and winning the fucking case by any means necessary. Absolutely. Because when Tariq showed a little like, whoa, you want me to talk shit about my dad while he's dead at the funeral? Now, mind you, on top of that, he's the reason why his fucking dad is dead.
and he's the reason why Davis.
I killed my fucking dad. And on top of that, you want me to talk shit about him at the funeral. And then you're going to tell me, grow some fucking balls. He should feel some kind of way.
I thought that was real. And Mark, back to you said about Tariq speaking his truth. I think some of those truths that Tariq developed based on, the fallout as far as the family falling out, as far as him going to live with Angela, some of those truths would have blown up the spot anyway. We're going to get into how Tariq handled all of that eventually. And y'all going to be, like I said, people are really, really going to hate me tonight. So the next scene is where Tariq, this is very important. It's a small scene, but Tariq meets up with Braden, and Braden asks him about, starting to move some weight again, and he invites him to his brother's party. Not much to say there, but there's going to be a whole lot more to say there later because Tariq, I don't know if y'all, I want to get into when we get into that scene, but Tariq is kind of casing the joint when he's in that frat house, not to steal stuff, but like people, I don't know, y'all, if you look at this place, like, man, this place got a whole lot of potential. But we're going to get into that. The next scene The Braden scene, and let's talk about that scene just a little bit. I know it's a short scene, but I think that is going to matriculate into it's almost a given that they're going to begin moving weight eventually. Because Braden, the thing is, Braden just wants, I think he just wants the adventure. Because the guy's dad, it has his name on what, the auditorium, has his name on the swimming pool and all that stuff. So he's just doing it for the thrill. He don't need the damn money.
Yeah, just for the thrill. For him, yeah, that's it. That's all it was, and just, and he even goes back to when they were at Choke. He was like, yo, we was killing it up there, right? So you could just tell it wasn't really about the money. It was just like, yo, this was a thrill. We had a lot of fun doing it.
Adrenaline.
You know what I'm saying? And like, man, let like, look, if you about to do that again, man, let's get in on that. Let's do that. So Braden, he about the action, man. He just wanna, have fun. You know what I mean? For real, the pussy. You want that? I mean, like always.
Yeah, right? He mentioned that like 5-10 times in this episode.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think he mentioned that more than Merv. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think that was possible. You know what I'm saying? But that's what he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? That's how he wants, life to be for him, a thrill.
What you think about Braden,
Merv? Huh?
The next scene is when what is the cop's name? The dirty cop that she got in pocket. I forgot his name, but the scene is with her and the cop that showed up in the first episode. They're in bed. And she's kind of like saying, hey, look, I need security, I need protection, and your ass need to leave before Kane and the kids see you. She especially mentioned Kane. And we'll get into it at the end, but Kane ended up not catching him at the spot, but he was in the Range Rover, and he saw him going into the spot. So I mean, that's going to materialize into something else. And then Zeke meets with I think her name is Carrie, the advisor.
Oh yeah.
He's trying to get with her.
Man,
and
Merv, question for you on that one.
Going hard. He's going real hard. So he's trying to hit on her. She's asking about Tariq. Hey, have you been talking to Tariq? And he's like, nah, I don't really. It's almost like he's like, I don't really deal with Tariq like that. But he's literally trying. He ain't got a chance in hell. But he's shooting his shot. He's shooting his shot though. I got to give the little young dude.
Wait. Hold up. How you know you don't have a chance in hell?
You know what? You're right, because I think she's a sex addict, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she is.
Okay,
but don't. That's further along.
Oh,
we gonna get to that. That's further along.
We gonna get to that.
Right.
Yeah, that's second quarter.
Okay.
So this next. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I was saying that, with Zeke or whatever, right? Zeke just like, he's really just there, to play some ball, right? He just like, he's talking about the people like, sort of, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. But he was just going at her like, yo, what's up with you? Like, you know what I'm saying? He was just going at her. I felt him on that though, like,
He's really trying to holler.
She's real interested in Tariq and his story and what he's going through. I mean, she always talk about him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see, where that story's going, because I mean, it seemed like she always talk about him no matter what. Like,
you're right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't do nothing else. Like, you know what I'm saying? What the hell?
It's something behind that. We're gonna find out later, but it's definitely something behind that.
Yeah.
So that leads us to Tariq's scene with Simon, and that's in sharp contrast to the scene to Davis's advice as far as the eulogy. Simon is actually putting them on the game, in my opinion, because he's telling them how his father was, and he's saying, I'm nothing like my father. But he pretty much tells Tariq it would be a very poor business decision for you to blow up your father's spot. And he pretty much tell him, I'll be fine, but we're business partners, and I would really strongly advise you against blowing up your father's spot. I found that scene to be very interesting. What y'all think, fellas?
Yeah, I agree, man. That was just the scene, he was getting to where it's like, look, if you blow up your father's spot, man, this, a lot of business ain't gonna work for you. Like basically, your dad name in these streets is still good. Like in this business world, is still very good. It
Yep.
would be advantageous for you to be able to take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? I know you want to look out for your mom, but you really kind of want to do what's best for you, right? And he specifically told him that best for you. And then when he was talking about the book Great Expectations, he was like, yeah, that's like a book, for the poor guy. That's not a book, for you and me. That ain't a book for us. That's morals versus, ambition. No, that's a poor man's story. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That ain't for you. And Tariq really, in that conversation, really had to think about start thinking about his dad in a different context. Like, all right, I understand the guy, that I thought he was, but he also was this guy too. And he didn't really know. And you could see that he was it really just had him thinking like, man, who was this guy? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like he didn't know. He didn't know who his father was, really.
And it's funny you say that, Mark. We gonna get into it once once
Yeah.
Tariq eventually delivers that eulogy. You got something, Merv, before we move to the last? There's one last key scene in the first quarter.
Nah, let's go.
All right, this is a very important scene. This is when Davis and Paula are talking about the case. Paula, like you said earlier, Mark, Paula is like, she's sensing that Tasha's lying, Tariq's lying, so she wants Davis to just distance himself from the case. Meanwhile, you got John Mott and you got Stephen Ott that's pressuring Sachs to make that RICO charge stick. Now, I kind of lost sight of the fact that Tariq still got shit on Sachs. So Sachs got to kind of tread carefully on this. I forgot about that when I was watching. I'm like, damn, I didn't, because Tariq told him, I saw you at the club that night. I don't want to have to say that. I totally forgot about that. But it's going to be interesting for me to see how Sachs goes forward trying to please two masters, so to speak. What y'all got?
Good point, man. You know what I'm saying? Just to see how that's playing out. I think, to be honest with you, what happens to Sachs always is going to happen to Sachs. He's going to overplay his hand, and what you're seeing in the beginning is Mott and Stephen Ott are pressuring him, really, to overplay his hand. And Sachs, he's a little bit nervous because it's like, listen, understand, like we're gonna get the case rolling, but it's a lot he doesn't have. He's going to really have to rely on this guy, his partner or whatever on the case. But I'm just saying, at this point, looking at it, it's just like, you know what? It ain't going to end well for him, right? And this is before you even get to the rest of the show. You're just thinking from the previous show that you ain't going to be able to make this work, man. Sorry, buddy. You ain't going to be able to make it work.
Yeah. What you got,
Well, that shit, I don't see that shit's not gonna come up for a while. Like, I think Tariq, with all shit that's going on, Tariq forgot about it, how to use it. Let me tell you when that shit's gonna come up again. The last fucking episode where it was a ruling for the court. That's when that shit's gonna come up again. That's when the bombs are gonna be dropped. He's gonna tell Davis about it. Somehow he's gonna be able to convey that to Davis. And Davis gonna use that shit to get his mom off. It's gonna be able to use some kind of way where the reason why Sachs is pushing this shit is because he was there. He was he could easily be a suspect, and they clear his name or keep his name out of it. That's why he's making his charge against Tasha, and that's what's going down, get Tasha off the fucking hook. My bold prediction. Y'all remember, y'all heard it here first from Merv and Stack Show featuring Mark.
Okay, that's an interesting prediction.
Sounds plausible.
Yeah. All right, now we moving first into the moving right along into the second quarter. This is where Tariq visits his mom in jail, And she actually agrees with Simon. But ultimately, she's telling Tariq, you know, your father was a complicated man, and I think Tariq took bits and pieces of the advice that he was given throughout this episode and compacted. You know, I don't think he really. You know, I don't want to get in that until we actually get into the actual.
Yeah, stay in the quarter, man. But, you keep trying to go to the third and fourth quarter, man. Stay in the moment, man. You gonna get all of that, man. Stay in the moment. You keep trying to go to the third and fourth quarters, man. Stay in the moment.
Now, she also said that maybe he shouldn't speak at all, and she asked him if he opened back up the daycare, which he lies, of course, and because she wanted to know where he's getting the money for a legal defense. I mean, which it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. You know, there's only means of income.
She almost fucked up again, but this time she caught herself because she was on her phone and she was about to say she over the phone, and then she just stopped and started asking regular questions and shit. She almost goddamn spilled the fucking beans over openly again.
Because that's what she does. And Tariq also almost said ghost on a jail phone in the jail where you know guards and stuff like that listening to the conversation. Y'all remember that?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I feel you, man. I'm like, yo, the thing that was crazy is that when they were talking, you know, in the jail or whatever, right? She almost said that about anger, man. You know, she almost said that, you know, with anger or whatever, right? So then she switched it up, and then he almost slipped too. He like, dad, you know what I'm saying? Almost, right? And see, this is the thing, you know, when you're talking to Tasha, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, sometimes your mind could go blank too by talking to her. So, I mean, Tariq almost slipped up, but it didn't happen. Please do not happen during these conversations.
Yep. Okay, that leads us to our next scene where Tariq meets with Carrie, and she's a fixer. I guess she's one of those women that always wants a project to work on, saying she want to provide them with a safe space. Then she meets with Jabari. That's the ecological studies professor. Her and they, of course, they got a history, so that leads into him telling her, "You always trying to, you know, do stuff." He pretty much telling you always doing too much, and don't ask the people you try to do stuff for if they need stuff done for them. They get into it about old times, but he eventually ends up smashing her on his desk. You know, and after that, she met with her psychologist, so to speak, and
that's her sponsor.
Her sponsor. So that led to the part that I'm like, okay, she got a sponsor. That means she's in what? Sex Addicts Anonymous, is that what they call it?
Hey, Tiger Woods had to go to it.
Tiger Woods was with there to please the media, man. Chill. What you think about that? I'm gonna ask you a dirtbag, Merv. I'm gonna ask you about that scene. My bad. I'm gonna ask you about that scene in particular with Jabari and Carrie.
Man, listen. That was a very hot, passionate scene, and I enjoyed that shit, man. Just you at the school, you in the office, you ain't supposed to be doing none of this shit. You know why I really enjoyed it? Because they wasn't supposed to be doing none of that shit. And then she asked if such a. He was like, "Does it matter?" And she was like, "No."
For real.
Yeah. Hey, I was all for it.
Okay.
I knew you would be. I'm so sure. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, Merv, you know, when they got to the next scene, when you found out she was a sex addict, right? I mean, what were you thinking right then? Like, you know, when you found that out?
That you want to fuck Tariq?
Wow. Hey.
That's the first thing I thought about.
Hey. I can't argue with that, man. You never know. You never know, because hey,
it's power, man.
Telling her, because apparently Jabari wrote a novel about their dealings. I don't know if y'all caught that because it was talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was like, yeah, you acting just like the girl in the story.
Exactly. So the sponsor tell her, hey, the sponsor's giving her like real addictive, like the common advice that you would give somebody like to say they're addicted to alcohol or drugs. Don't go to no parties or this, that, and the third. She told
stay
him,
away from it.
Yeah, stay away from them. Don't be in a room. Don't be in a room alone with.
Do not close the door.
And that got me to thinking, like, man, she be wilding like that. So wow, okay. Well, moving on to the next scene, I call it Dinner at the Tejadas. Very, very, very interesting to see Monique being fake nice to Tariq. And Kane looks totally disinterested in the whole damn dinner, in my opinion. Drew had some interest when Tariq mentioned something about art or something like that. Then I wonder what the fuck that means. That was very interesting. Uncle Frank walks in out of damn nowhere. Okay. All of us grew up in the hood. If somebody's in jail and we know they got a serious charge and they mysteriously like just show up, we all know what time it is, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Monet recognized it immediately. She snipped it out like immediately. Like, what the hell are you doing out? I know one for good behavior.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is the weird pass that Uncle Frank made at his niece Diane. He said you grew up.
Wow. You really felt out.
Let's stop there because I gotta hear y'all take on that because that threw me for a loop.
I'm like, yo. I'm like, what kind of pedophile shit is this? Like, Uncle Frank. Like, come on, Uncle Frank. You know, I'm like, that was nuts right there. I couldn't even believe, like, and they kind of act like it was like whatever. Like, yo, this is the way you talk. This is the way he talk to you. Like, really? You know, but that was crazy. But I think, to be honest, though, I mean, you hit it on the head. Monet caught that quick. Look, man, Lorenzo don't give nobody shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't promise nobody shit, nothing. You know, and he was trying to talk business right there. Monet shut that thing down real quick, gave all the orders, right? Like, look, you know what I'm saying? Diana, you clear the table. Zeke, you stay in here. Kane, you take Tariq home. Drew, you gonna go and talk, have a drink with your Uncle Frank, talk to him, right? I mean, she gave them things out quick. That was like, 1, 2, 3, bang. So I was just like, Monet, all business all the time. I mean, she never flinches. This is how she's been since the show started.
Right. And what's key in that, Mark, is y'all remember what triggered her to shut it down? He said something about her. She was running things now. That he said that, and that's where she was like, "Oh hell no, nah." And she literally said, "What you spouting off that family first stuff? I just heard that you was running stuff now, or something like that." So, my thing was, go ahead, Merv.
That was the trick. That's why she shut shit down, because that was the trigger question. If he was wired up. That was the trigger question to implicate every fucking her and every fucking body associated with her. So she's street savvy enough. When she heard that question, she was like, "Oh hell no! Okay, yo, shut this down. Yo, you clear the table. Take such home. You stay here. You've been drinking. Yo, take Uncle Frank out." Because she immediately heard that shit, heard that question, and her being street savage, that's a separate fucking question. You are asking a fact-finding question. A confirmation question, an informational question that can fucking fuck everything up by one wrong response by her. And that's why she shut shit down real fucking quick. I mean, so yeah. That's a street savvy in her from being married to the big dog.
She gave instructions to Kane and to what's the brother name again?
Oh, Oh, you mean Kane or Drew?
The other
The brother that was talking about the art and shit. I
Yeah.
forgot his
Drew.
name.
That's Drew.
Drew.
That's Drew.
She gave
Yeah,
us
Drew.
instructions. Remember, Drew volunteered to take. Was it Drew that volunteered to take Tariq back?
Yeah, Drew was like, I could take him, and she said, and Monet was like, I
That
said
was
what I
weird.
said.
Hey, yeah, that was weird after the little interest in art, but I caught that, but that was a little weird to me. But she specifically had Kane take Tariq back to Stanfield for a reason. Because Kane is the muscle. Kane is a crazy motherfucker. That which brings us to the next scene where Kane pulls over in a little alley in the Range Rover and tell Tariq, hey, get out. We need to talk. Hey, bro. This scene, really liked it. Because Kane, he got out, had the gun in his waistband or whatever. And he kind of he comes for Tariq and tell him, look, whatever happens in our family stays in our family. And I don't think that conversation really went down had Uncle Frank is the reason for that conversation. But absolutely. I like how Tariq played that moment like his father did. I'm trying to tell you. He told him, he pretty much told him, dude, you trying to scare me and all this stuff. And he pretty much told him, your uncle is a fucking rat. And he
told him why.
Told him why, bro. Yeah. Come on, man. He coming in all unannounced, smiling. Has he ever been that happy to see you before? Hey, y'all see the look on Kane? Kane was like, damn, this motherfucker. Like, damn, nigga.
Right.
Yeah, man.
He told him, we on the same team. If your family get hurt, I get hurt. So you tell your mom that she ain't got nothing to worry about. That was the ghost coming out of Tariq. I was very and thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. That was a crazy moment right there. But Tariq, if you look at the previous series, right? I'm just like Tariq's ready for that kind of thing. Like, so you can't really press him like that. I'm like Uncle Tommy hung him over a building. You know what I'm saying? Ghost put a gun, right to his face.
Good point.
Him,
yep.
And I'm like, and all the stuff that he went through with Kane, and I'm just like, listen, when Kane comes and tries to press him, like, dude, you gotta understand, like, you don't know, but I've been through worse than you trying to press me. I've been through way worse. Like, so this ain't really gonna phase me like that. And
Mark, I never thought about it like that because all the stuff he went through with what's the dirty cop name that he ended up offing? Him too. Damn.
Man, I'm trying to remember his name. Jukebox and Ray.
Ray. He had been through so much that Kane, dude. That's a very good point, Mark. Like, dude, you really trying to scare me, dude. You don't. And I would like to think that Tariq was like, oh, you think you could just scare me like that, dude? You don't even know where I've been, where I've been, and what I've been through. Right. So I never thought about it like that. Mm-hmm. He grew up in the school of hard knocks, and he had to grow up fast.
Yeah, definitely that.
And his fucking daddy is the ghost. It's in his DNA. I mean,
absolutely, man.
Because he already knew what it was when Kane told him to get out of the field when he needed to talk. He already knew what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And as we already know, he already doing his research as well because he was on the internet and he got the info on Lorenzo Tejada, head of the Tejada crime family. Did he not?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he found all that out.
So the next scene brings Tariq and Braden. They're at the frat house. They're attending the frat party of Braden's brother. I think his name is Trace or something like that. Mm-hmm. And Braden, of course, he's trying to get back in the game, and he tells Tariq, because I think Braden and his brother does not get along clearly, but Trace mentions to one of his frat brothers, asking him if he got any more, stuff. Like, we know they're talking about drugs and talking about they always running out. And Braden told Tariq, hey, man, like I told you, man, we can make bank here. And the whole time, Tariq is like, it's like Tariq really scoping out the joint, and he's thinking to himself, because regardless of what Tasha say or regardless of what Tasha asked him, Tariq is heavily back in the game. That's going to be a thing. That's going to be a thing this season.
What you mean back in the game? The nigga never got out the game, yo. He ain't not back in the game. The nigga never got out. What the fuck are you talking about? And let me tell you something, man. And I don't know, like, Tasha can't really fucking trip right now. You can't fucking trip. You agree with, like, yo, I'm going to show you the fucking game. So you telling him not to do something that you taught him to do is fucking crazy to me. That's crazy as fuck. So, I mean, kids going to do what the fuck they see. All right, he saw his mom and dad do this shit growing up. His mom taught him how to do this shit. His mom taught him how to lie, taught him how to do all that shit. So, what the fuck else did Tasha expect?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. During that scene where the cops came and Trace, well, I guess you can call it campus security, rental cops or whatever, and Trace still off on the cop, and as soon as Braden mentioned the Weston name, like the cops was all shook. And they let his brother go like ain't nothing happened, and they just went back to partying. Now my thing is, Tariq is going to use that to his advantage, and that's my little bold prediction. But Tariq is going to end up using the Western name of his friend's Braden, last name of his friend's Braden, to his advantage. Because if you really look at it, let's just say he get back in the drug game. Braden, you think Braden gonna go to jail or anything will happen to him if he get caught? First of all,
if he get caught on campus. If he get caught on campus, no.
Exactly. Because his father's name is on buildings and shit like that. So I mean, I just thought that's a really good tidbit. And he's going to. I think Trace is going to factor in there some kind of way, but I really haven't figured that part out yet. What y'all think?
I think, to be honest with you, you had it right the first time. You know, when Tariq kind of casing, these parties. He's going to want to be at these parties because that's where, all the weight's going to move or whatever, right? Now, his brother, is like the man. He's like the man on campus. He's in the fraternity. Everybody knows him. Everybody wants to go to his party. So this is going to be like, all right, look, anytime this guy's throwing a party, we want to be there. We're going to make sure everything, moves the way it needs to move. So I think Tariq is already grinding that in his head. And he's probably going to tell his man Braden, like, look, this beef you got with your brother, it's bad for business. Like, you can already tell that conversation coming. Like, this is bad for business, man. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to make things cool. Like, look, if he talk dirty, he talk crazy to you, he son you, you just going to have to take that because we trying to get this money. So I think all of that setting up, for future episodes right there. And the party was the intro.
True. You got anything else, Merv, before we go on to the next scene?
No, I'll go ahead to the next scene.
All right, very interesting scene where Tasha is eavesdropping on one of the prisoners, one of her fellow inmates, and a guard. And she seems like a female version of Felice Johnson because she's talking to the guard like the guard's the inmate and she's the guard. Tell her you need to get me a morning after pill or I'm gonna turn. It's like she run the block. I mean, that's what I got from it. That it's apparent that
she was basically like, she said that shit. She said, "Give me a morning after pill before I turn this whole block against you." Now, the funny shit is like the guard said that is very important, but the guard said, "Yo, who dick you been riding?" And that's my same fucking question. Y'all didn't think about that? What the fuck you need a morning after pill for? You in fucking prison. You in a fucking girl's prison. Female can't get another female pregnant. So who you fucking, yo? That I had the same sentiment as the fucking guard. Who dick you riding? The fuck you need a morning after? How the fuck you need a morning after pill? And the person that you fucking, why you ain't asking them for a morning after pill? Because them motherfuckers gonna get in trouble. Why you just tell them if they can sneak their dick in you, they can sneak a morning pill inside your ass too.
Hey, fuck. All facts. I can't argue nothing. I never even thought about it like that. Hey.
Good point, man.
That shit nuts.
So I mean, in every movie that you've seen, and if you, I mean, when somebody goes inside, the first thing they do is look for an ally. And that's what Tasha's trying to do. She's inside. She's all alone. She got this guard that's really bullying her. So she's trying to find an ally. I think it's a good play for her. And we'll get into how that turned out later. You go on into the next scene where you got Davis and Paula. They're meeting with Judge Larkin. And I believe Sachs is there. Stephen Ott is there. And Davis is pretty much trying to get the RICO case against Tasha dropped due to prosecutorial misconduct, because he stated he didn't. Davis eloquently stated he didn't know how did the U.S. attorney show up at a state case with a federal warrant. So at this point, they're trying to get what's her face, the other prosecutor. I think her name is Miss Sullivan. They're trying to get her to come back in. So they're trying to get her under oath so she can testify, because she was kind of embarrassed by that whole thing. It's like Mox played her, and that'll come to fruition later. But the thing I was thinking about during that scene is just, I mean, and I know it happens in the real world in the criminal justice system with these overzealous prosecutors that gotta pin a murder or a crime on somebody, like by any means necessary. Like they was going to pit, like Ghost is gone. They know Ghost. And they know damn well that Ghost was Ghost, and he had a criminal network that he ran, but he dead now, so they never was able to prove it. So they're figuring they're going to pin it on somebody. Coupled with the fact that Ghost got his name cleaned up by going into politics, and Stephen Ott from the DNC, he don't want to see the DNC look dirty by letting all of Ghost's dirty laundry come to light, so to speak. So what y'all got on that?
Man, I mean, the DNC guy, he's on point. Stephen Ott, he's on point. He's just like, look, we didn't nominate this guy. We can't have anything come out about him like that. So he's doing whatever, to try to protect that. John Mock, he got him in pocket. This is why Mock is even pursuing this thing, with Tasha in the first place, really to keep Ghost clean, and then they were just like, all right, well, Sachs, look, you the one that got to handle it, or whatever. So I'm just like, man, it's crazy that they're going to this length, to go here. And I'm just like, man, how come y'all ain't go to this length, to do the background check? Like, what I'm saying? I'm just like, y'all ain't go to that length for the background check, but they go in the length to protect him, and they'll throw anybody under the bus, to do it. So this is going to play out all season. But this is definitely a little crazy though.
Yeah, but real quick, they went through a background check, but you gotta remember now we talking about fucking Ghost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ghost covered his ass on all that shit. So I'm pretty sure they went through a thorough background check, but there's a reason why that motherfucker's nickname is Ghost. All right. Yeah. So he couldn't find shit. Nigga was a ghost.
That's true though. That's true.
What ended with that is Judge Larkin ended up agreeing to bring Miss Sullivan, the old prosecutor, back in there. Agreed to bring her back in there later that day to put her under oath, because that's what Davis wanted, and he figured that's how you can get the charges dropped. So the next scene is Ghost's graveside funeral, and Reek's dumbass annoying grandmother assumes. I'm sorry, man. She's been annoying. Every word she's spoken in this entire power thing has been annoying me. I'm sorry. I never did like her. I don't care.
Okay, well, everything she said, it's been realistic. Think about your grandma. Think about your grandma in the same situation. She'll ask us, she'll ask the same fucking questions, yo. She asks no questions that no real grandma would fucking ask.
She's a secondhand gold digger, man. That's just the way I see her, man. She's not a direct gold digger because she was living off of Ghost and Tasha. But she asked him, how do you afford such? She assumed that he paid for the damn funeral. All these people that Ghost know, all the stuff Ghost was mixed up in, she assumed that Tariq paid for the funeral. So he told her, look, grandma, with your dumb ass, I didn't pay for no funeral. So it was decided that Tasha was going to do the eulogy. Sax cut that shit off at the pass.
Damn, you blew that up quick.
Handcuffs on her
Blew
ass.
that up quick.
Hey, yo,
like, man, you gotta do it in these cups. That's
hey.
Councilman Tate's grimy ass is there as an opportunist. I'd be happy to say some
as
words.
Always.
Yo,
always.
Councilman Tate,
man,
that dude was a true opportunist and politician, man. It was absolutely crazy, man. So when Tariq saw that shit about to go down, Tariq was like, "Yo, I'll do it. I'll do it." Now,
Yeah,
at that point, I did not know what Tariq was going to say, but I think Tariq, what he was going to say, I think it changed once he had that short conversation with Uncle Gabe. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. He goes on to do the eulogy describing his father as a complicated man that wanted, you know, he pretty much went over the fact that, hey, some people want to come and some people want me to say this, some people want me to say that, and
I'm on TV.
He said some people want me to say this, some people want me to say that, but he ended up, his conclusion was he was the manifestation of what his father wasn't. I believe that was his words, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said,
I think that was that made me an official Team Tariq fan, that eulogy. I'm going to forgive all of Tariq's past transgressions. After that eulogy, that made me Team Tariq. I said what I said. Go ahead.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, you know, when I think you really hit it on the head when he talked to Uncle Gabe. I think that kind of changed his whole perspective, because I think he probably was at war of what he would say. Talking to Davis McClain, then talking to Simon Stern, I think he was conflicted. Like, man, you know, he kind of didn't want to do it, but then when he seen Tate there, he like, hell no, Tate ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that conversation with Uncle Gabe, along with what was already in his head, I think he gave, you know, the right eulogy too. I think, you know, it was spot on with what he said. And I'm telling you, man, you know, like, you know, as a young actor, that was a really good scene for him. You know, just kind of seeing Michael Ray do that scene, because it was a touching scene, and I'm just like, you know, like you could tell, like, you know, like, man, you know, that was some good acting right there. So, you know, so shout to him for that. But I was just like, you know, it was the right thing to do and everything. And I was just like, man, you know, I didn't think, you know, that it would go that way, but it did. And he said the right words, man. So props to Tariq for that one.
What did you think about the eulogy, Merv?
Same thing everybody else said. I thought it was I felt he had a change. He had a change of perspective on doing that eulogy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think Tariq is really coming into his own based off all of his experiences in the Power series before Power Book 2 came out. I mean, you alluded to it earlier, Mark. All of the men that were surrounded by him, that he was surrounded by, good, bad, and indifferent. He was surrounded by murderers, drug dealers, but at the same time, there were life lessons that was taught during those times, in my opinion, and I think that's going to make Tariq flourish going forward. Starting with that eulogy really impressed me. And the last thing that happened in that scene is that before Tasha was dragged back away by the feds, she told Tariq that she needed that morning after pill. So that wraps the third quarter. So going into the fourth quarter, it starts back. We're back in Judge Larkin's office, and they bring the prosecutor Sullivan in there, and she's under oath. And she's under oath. Boy, they don't like Tariq out there. But she's under oath, right? And Davis is asking her these questions, and she pretty much told the judge that that the deal she made that was suggested by Sachs told her to make the deal, but he ended up blowing it up so he can get the federal RICO charge. And just when you think Sachs is caught, out of the blue, he brings in from last season, Sergeant Blanca Rodriguez. The last time we saw her, I guess she was getting her ass laid out by Dre, right? Was that Dre?
Yeah.
Dre that laid her ass, which was terrible. But she's forced to answer Sachs's questions, and he put it in a yes/no format. So that made the judge give it enough cause to not dismiss that case. Because Davis wanted her to keep talking because she was going to go into detail why Tasha wasn't the queen pin. But Judge Law can tell her to save it for the trial. But Blanca is team Davis. She knows that Sachs is dirty, and she tells Davis and Paula, make sure that I testify because Tasha's no queen pin and Sachs is dirty. That's what I got on that. What y'all think about that first scene in fourth quarter?
Man, hey, listen. I just like, when Blanca came in there, I'm just like, listen, I was hoping she'd blow his shit up right then and there, right? But I knew, they were that wasn't gonna happen. And just like you said, he put those questions in that yes/no format. But when she said, like, look, when this thing go to trial, you got to get me on the stand, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, I'm just like, it's all setting up, for this to blow right up in Sachs' face like it usually does, So as this case is progressing, it's going to be more people kind of just like this. And like, look, Sachs, man, listen, he's dirty. You don't know what he's doing, and his bosses are pressing him, but they just don't have the guy to be able to deliver. And we're going to find that out later on. But I'm just like, we already adding it up. I'm like, Tariq is the one seen him at the club, the night, the Ghost was killed. And then Blanca, saying like, listen, this guy's dirty, let me on the stand. I'm like, that's already happening. I think, and Tasha, she might get on the stand and she'll be able to probably throw some heat on him too.
I hope she don't keep it up herself.
I'm like, man, I'm just saying that I just think it's not going to be good for Sachs. Like, when it gets to, down the road at this trial, too many things are already lined up against him. And I think
everything will collapse at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Merv, what you think about that scene, man?
Same thing, y'all. Same things that that's gonna be another nail in the coffin because Stacks brought her on to help him get the case started and go forward. But that's also, Davis didn't know this motherfucker existed. All right.
Say me or Sachs?
So when Sachs brought her on, and when she was leaving, Sachs gave Davis another fucking ally. And it's helping him now to get the case started. But it's gonna hurt his ass because she don't like him. She know he's dirty, and she know a couple should have bought him already. So that's gonna help. What help created this shit is gonna help kill his ass. And at the end of the trial.
Mm-hmm.
Bet. Now, not the last scene of the show, but we're going to talk about. We're going to go back a little bit before we talk about this part of the fourth quarter, where we got Monet. Kane comes back from dropping Tariq off, and Diana comes. She's talking to Diana, right? And she tells Diana, I don't know how we missed this, but she tells Diana, you got a power over your Uncle Frank, which I thought was weird. And her mother told her to use it. Kane shows back up, and Kane tells Monet, and I guess Kane and Diana says it in unison that confirm that Tariq thinks that Uncle Frank is a damn snitch. Now Diana is wants to give him the benefit of the doubt, but Monet tells her a fabled line that I think we all can agree with: all blood ain't family, and all family ain't blood. You know, and she asked, well, shouldn't we find out who he snitch on? And y'all know how the street code go. It don't matter. A snitch is a snitch. And she said, Kane will take care of him. So so now we go back to this scene in the fourth quarter where Kane walks in the bar, beats his uncle over the head with a pistol, and drags him to the back. I think Drew is in there and another goon is in there. And then he shoots him in the head like 2 times, chops him up, and puts him, what was that, a kegger? Like 2 keggers?
Yeah, put him in the keg. You know what I'm saying? Chop him up and put him in the keg.
On the truck like it was, and the thing is, man, y'all notice how Kane, it's like, I wonder how many bodies this kid got because he
did so naturally. He did so naturally.
Yeah.
And without any hesitation, like he's been doing that shit for a long time.
And the thing is, he's always happy to do it. Much like Tom. You know what I mean? He's always happy to do it. Look, you know what I mean? I'm happy to kill Uncle Frank. I mean, when it was the Rob, when it was Rail, I'm like, okay, I understand that one, but I'm like, this is Uncle Frank. He was happy to do that one. I think he's gonna be happy to do all of them.
Exactly. I like Kane, man. He's diabolical, but I like him. So that leads us to the next scene where Diana shows up to Tariq room and asks him how he knew Uncle Frank was a snitch. He asked, and Tariq is slick. Tariq asked, hey, did your mom send you? And she was like, nah, she ain't send me. I come here on my own merits. And he asked her, could your dad get me, could your dad help get something inside? She carries that news back to her mom, but I think she really, really feeling Tariq, man. And I think here's my prediction about that. I think she's going to end up displeasing her mother over Tariq. I think they're going to become real close. And her mom, as her mom is giving her these orders and stuff like that on what to do, I think she's going to deviate as her and Tariq's relationship grows stronger. That's just me, though. What y'all think on that part?
I would say like this. I can see that happening. I don't think Tariq wants to do harm to the Tejada family at all. I think if it like he doesn't have a lot of family, so and he said that in the first episode, so it's just like, man, this kind of feels like family or whatever, and he doesn't want to blow them up at all, man. But Monet don't like it because Monet is just like, I don't know you. And it's always going to be, I don't know you, But Diana's going to feel, I think she'll feel Tariq, and Monet, she might lose like it might be a little bit of a power struggle, her only daughter, and she likes Tariq. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic with that whole situation. But I don't think that Tariq's going to try to blow the family up. I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think that's happening at all.
Gotcha. What you got on that, Merv?
You're
right, Dre. Tariq is all in feeling Tariq. What's up, Merv?
Yeah, it's gonna be like that Romeo and Juliet shit in the hood version. She's gonna tell him Tariq shit. Tariq gonna manipulate her and be able to find out information on the whole shit. He already got her ass to go get her mom to deliver the shit to his mom. So he already started. Goddamn, like, yo, okay. Well, it's like this. What did Monet tell her daughter? When a man look at you like that or got interest in you like that, you got power over them. It's vice versa. When a goddamn girl look at you like that and as interested in you like that, you got power over them. So right now he has a little bit of leverage on her and he's using it.
Yep. That's real talk. So Tariq, of course, he asked if she can help, if her father can help him get something on the inside. She brings that back to her mother, and they oblige. She gets the Great Expectation books. I thought that was a nice little touch. Not only did she get the morning after pill, she got a cell phone, and Tasha proceeded to call Tariq, and she asked him again, "How are you paying for my defense?" And he tells his mom, which I thought was a very good line. He said, "You remember how Ghost always said there's only two ways that drug dealers end up dead or in jail." He said he think he found another way. So and that leads to the scene where Kane is pulling up on his block and he sees the cop car out in front of his house, and the cop is actually going into the house with a little gift, a little Johnny Walker Blue, about a $120 bottle. He bringing that in there, come bearing gifts. But Monet ain't trying all of that shit, man.
Yeah, she don't hear that shit.
She try to look for safety and security, and I think what piss her off the most is the fact that he brought her information that she already had, and she got it from kids, basically. She got it from Tariq. That's the information that she gathered based off of Tariq and based off some shit that she already knew. So he brought her the information late.
He a dollar late. He dollar short, second late. How does it go? Yeah, a minute late, dollar short. So he already had that. He already had all that shit.
So she got him. She got him by the balls though, because like Merv say, pussy run the world. It does in some cases. So she tells him, "I'm gonna give you a chance to redeem yourself. I need you to find everything, any and everything you can find on Tariq St. Patrick." I don't like this cop. I just simply don't, because I think he's gonna be trying to. I don't like the cop because I think he's gonna mess up. He's gonna mess up Tariq's flow, man. I think he's gonna do something to throw a monkey wrench in Tariq's deal. That's just me.
Hey, Tariq is Junior Ghost. Tariq gonna be all right. Matter of fact, Tariq is gonna be better than Ghost because Tariq got hood. He got the hood smarts. He gonna have that college smarts, and he just got that world smarts. I mean, Tariq is a savvy motherfucker, so he's gonna be even better than motherfucking Ghost.
Right, but I don't.
I like it because I think Monet gonna be on Tariq ass the whole show. She ain't gonna let him.
Those gonna be the two going back and forth.
Yeah, so it's gonna be really, it's really like, they're like allies, but they're not friends, right? And Monet gonna let him know that anytime she talk to him, right? So it's gonna be a lot of back and forth, but I think in the end, they'll end up being on the same side, but she's really gonna be on his ass the whole show. And she's not gonna let up with nothing. And she's gonna find out everything about him, and she's not gonna just put it out there like when she finds out everything about him, but she's going to use things in a timely manner. And Tariq really going to have to be on his he's going to have to really think on his feet quick when he get confronted by Monet each time, because I'm like, he's going to have to know, like, I can't talk out of turn. I like a daughter. I'm in with the family. I'm really going to explain myself when she pressed me. Now, I think when she pressed him, he ain't going to be able to talk his way out of it like he did with Kane. Whole different ball game right here. So we'll see how that works.
Good points, Mark. Good points. So, gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the fourth quarter. Now we're going to go over the highlights. What were your highlights to this episode, Merv?
Well, so I'm gonna ask questions. The questions gonna bring up the highlights. All right.
Okay.
Because the question I asked talks about the highlights. It will naturally bring out the highlights. So, who wanna go first? Mark or Heisen?
I'll go first. Fine, I'll go first, Mark. That's fine.
Okay. All
right. So, what was your favorite quote of the show?
My favorite quote of the show is when Tariq said that he was the manifestation of everything his father wasn't. It's just that simple. I thought that was very deep. And based on the speech that he made, I thought that was a perfect closing line to the eulogy.
Okay, Mark.
Good.
What's your favorite quote of the show?
My favorite quote is Uncle Frank's a fucking rat. I love that. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. You know what I'm saying? I love that. You know, talk to him.
I like that. I like that.
Oh boy, well, my favorite quote of the show was when Braden trying to ask Tariq, telling you, we got a party to go to, my brother having it. And Tariq looking for him like, nah, I gotta go somewhere. I got other plans. And Braden says, my favorite quote of the show.
Of course. Okay, here we go.
What plans are better than pussy?
Yep.
I knew it. I knew you was gonna let that too. I knew that one. I knew it. I knew it, man.
Yo,
I knew you was going there. I knew it.
Terrible. Move on to your next question, man. You're ridiculous. Move on to your next question.
All right, so, hey, Stacks. No, I'm gonna go back with Mark. Mark.
Okay.
Was in your opinion, the most important quote of the show?
I think this is a quote from Simon Stern. I think it's really not. It was important for the show, but I think this is going to be important just moving forward with Tariq. How does this benefit me? Like when you do something, how does it benefit me? And I think that's going to follow Tariq the whole time. And I'm like, that's important in life, you know, to be honest with you. When you're doing something, whether you're doing on the job, business, or whatever, that has to come up each and every time. How does this benefit me? How does it help me? And I think, you know, that was just important right then, him dealing with his father's funeral, and it's going to be important moving forward for him, you know, in the show.
Okay. Stacks, in your opinion, what's the most important quote?
I'm sticking with y'all know I'm team Tariq now, man. I'm sticking with the most important quote of the show being when Tariq told his mother, you remember how Ghost said drug dealers only end up two places, dead or in jail? And when he said, I think I found another way, I'm really interested going forward to see what his other way is, because he's seen so many others, all of the men that surround him that he was pretty much raised by, make so many mistakes. I mean, Tommy, Ghost, Kanan. I'm really interested to see how he's going to match his street smarts with his high-level book smarts, finding that other way.
Okay. So I got a long-ass quote. It's all together, but for me to say just one part of it, it'll be missing something. And so my most important quote is when it was at the eulogy. It's before both y'all important quote. It was at the eulogy when he ran to his father's uncle and he said, I'm your father's uncle Gabe. You remind me this is all of it. He said, you remind me of him so much. You're bright just like him, just like he was. I can tell you are. And then he said he had a good heart. And for a time, we thought we was going to lose him to the streets because his grandfather always said when in the streets, he ended up dead or in jail. But he ended up turning it around, and he made all of us proud. And I know you're going to make him proud just like you made us proud. So it was a long quote, but all of that had to be said together. And in my opinion, if that quote didn't happen, none of y'all quotes will be important because none of y'all quotes will happen. That's why I feel that Shay, because he was ready before that, he was ready to say whatever about his fucking dad.
True.
To get his mom, to save his mom. When he talked to Gabe and Gabe said that shit, the guy's wheels turning and it hit him inside. And that's when he realized, damn, this is what that's when he realized this is what my dad was trying to do all of fucking long. From what his grandfather, which was his dad said, and from his uncle, tried to keep him out the streets. So his goal was, all right, I couldn't stay out the streets, but I'm gonna turn around, listen to my dad, listen to my uncle, and make sure I keep my family out the streets by going legit. And that's when he said, I'm a manifestation of what my dad couldn't be. It came from Gabe. It came from that talk with Gabe.
Yep.
So that's my most important quote, because I think that just changed Tariq going forward through the series, his mindset and his thinking and how he's gonna be moving. All right. Scene of the show. What's your favorite scene of the show, Stacks?
Kane and Tariq, man. I was talking outside the Range Rover, man. Was in his Ghost bag. We remember the conversations that Ghost had with Milan. He had with Lobos. He had with every when he get in a sticky situation, man, he seems to always be able to talk his way out of it. So that scene with him, and he to me, he indirectly earned an ally in Kane, because Kane was like, this motherfucker kind of smart. Because when Kane had that look, like when he told him his uncle's a rat, and he told him why his uncle's a rat, when Kane had that aha moment, like, damn, you right. And it kind of like Tariq took control. Like, dude, whatever hurt your family hurt me, and I ain't trying to. You can let your mom know. Now let's go. And he got in the car. This murderous killer who will kill anybody got in the car and go.
All right.
Yeah.
Mark,
definitely.
What's your favorite scene?
I'm gonna say like this: when Blanca Rodriguez, was talking to Davis McClain, and she was just like, "Look, you gotta let me testify at this trial, right?" I'm like, right there. I'm like, yo, listen, Coop gonna get killed on the stand. He gonna get killed on the stand. He might turn into Nancy right there. I don't know, but he gonna get killed on the stand when Blanca Rodriguez get on that stand. She gonna murder him on the stand. I don't even know how he even going, redirect the questions. He might be like, I'm good, Your Honor. Like, I don't know if he really got nothing to say. Really, I think she's gonna blow him up to Supreme.
All right, so my favorite scene of this show is
chill out, Sean.
My favorite scene of the show is when Carrie could not resist your professor.
Oh my God.
And they had passionate, hot office sex in the building, dog. That's my favorite scene of the show, yo. That shit was lit. You hear me? Hey, whoever directed that fucking scene, listen, they either got experience or they read a lot of romance books and them fucking, what's that damn dude with the long hair and shit used to be on all them sex novels? Shit, whoever put that scene together read them fucking books, yo. It's some kind of whatever, but that's my favorite fucking scene, man. Like, yo, she was bananas, dog. It was bananas. Hey, Mark, what's your most important scene?
I think it was Tariq delivering the eulogy at Ghost's funeral. I think right there, I think he found out a lot. Not only did he find out a lot about his dad, as you alluded to, the talk with Uncle Gabe, not only did he find out a lot about his dad, I think he found out a lot about himself right there. I think that scene right there, he just grew up like quickly. And I think it's going to serve him better. It's going to, he's going to think quicker. He's going to move a lot quicker. And the only thing, that I think we all worry about is him and the women. You know what I'm saying? Just like we worried about with Ghost, with Angie, I think, we do worry about this thing with Diana and Lauren. And I think, if that goes smooth for him, I think he'll be okay. But I was just like, I think that's the downfall that could be. But other than that, he's sharp, and I think he grew up right in that scene right there. And I think it's going to just help him going forward, because I think he really found out about himself right at that moment.
All right. Stacks, your most important scene.
It's the same scene, but for different reasons. I think that, me personally, I think that Tariq had a touch of guilt when he was delivering that eulogy, because I mean, mind you, the only people that knows that he pulled the trigger, I think it's him and his mom's. Correct? Does anybody else know?
Yep, that's it.
So
That's
I mean,
it.
could you imagine the strength that it takes to get up there and give a eulogy, not only about not only about your dad, but giving a eulogy of your dad, and you're the reason that he's dearly departed or whatever. So and like Mark said, he did some growing up in that scene. And I honestly think he was at war with himself. With some of the things that he said, it was, to me, it was genuine. It was deep. He said something to the effect that I did some things that I still got to learn about my father. There's some things I didn't know, and it seems like he was kind of struggling with what he had done, if not only just momentarily. And that's what I got.
All right, cool. So both of y'all got the same scene. To me, my most important scene was the scene with him and Kane. Was the most important scene, because right now Tariq is on these. This is the first time that he's in the streets by his goddamn self. He don't have nobody. You can't really count Braden. Braden is not a street dude. All right, Braden is somebody that's looking for adrenaline and maybe sell some pills or something to frat brothers or frat chicks, right? Or sorority chicks and whatnot. But that's not anybody that he can rely on. So his dad dead, Tommy is gone, Kanan is dead, his mom is in prison, and right now he is by his motherfucking self. All right, beginning show he's by his motherfucking self, and he got to make shit happen right now by his goddamn self. He got to open up the daycare. He's going against some crooked DAs that's pulling all stops. His mom's inside. He ain't got no way to talk to his mom. If Tommy was there or Ghost was alive, they got people on the inside. You know what I'm saying? They could hit up 2-Bit. But that scene,
free 2-Bit. Free 2-Bit.
Oh, so that scene right there, that scene when he steps out and Kane confronts him, and he was just, I don't know if y'all paid attention to his facial expression. He was just like,
I did.
Yo, you ain't got to try to scare me, nigga. And I'm pretty sure Kane is used to people backing down or being intimidated or being in awe, kind of like awestruck. Yo, Tariq showed no fucking emotions. He showed no motherfucking fear, and he showed no kind of. That shit wasn't bigger. That moment wasn't big to him. He was like, "Yo, you don't have to, nigga, you don't have to try to scare me. Your fucking uncle is a rat. We're on the fucking same page. Yo, are we done yet? Nigga, I'm trying to get back to school.
We finished and we done.
Like, yo, nigga, let's go." Right. And he jumped back in he got in the fucking truck before he did and left his ass there. So that scene right there was very Ghost-like, and that scene made me a fucking Tariq fan because
you just pissed Sean off, man.
On top of grown, I think he grew a lot there because he's by himself. So everything he went through, everything that he was taught from Kanan, Ghost, Tasha, Tommy, all that shit came out in that fucking scene. All of that came out in that fucking scene. His tenacity, his fearlessness, his how to talk to people. You saw Tommy, you saw Tasha, you saw Kanan, you saw Ghost, all in that fucking scene with Tariq. And on top of that, he just created a business ally with fucking Kane. And if he's good with Kane, he's good with Monet. He's already good with Diana. So that moment right there, just to develop a fucking relationship business-wise that's going to save him, in my opinion, will save him a lot throughout the rest of his fucking series. And guess what? He's not by his fucking self no more.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Good point. What else
All right.
you got, Merv?
Y'all got any? What's y'all ghost moment of the show? I think y'all done said it.
I think I'm like, all I can do is piggyback on what you said, Merv, man, because that was my ghost-like moment, that meeting with Kane. One thing you know about Ghost, he was great at sizing people up, quick on his feet. You know, outside of dealing with the females, right? I'm just saying when he's dealing with adversaries, business or whatever, he was sharp, quick. You know, he knew how to maneuver. You've seen all of that with Tariq. He was able, you know, be like, look, this is what Uncle Frank is. This is what, you know, our situation is. This is how we gonna move forward from that. You know, that was just coming down so fast, and he was able to kind of snap that up in a couple minutes. So I just like, man, you know, that was cool. And, you know, and one more thing, hey Sean, man, don't get mad because Sean got clipped like in season 2. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got clipped in season 2, boy. You was out of there in season 2. Get out of here.
Stats. What's your ghost like moment?
I don't need to beat a dead horse. You already know, man. That scene with Kane. I'm not even gonna speak on it, man. That scene with him and Kane, where he pretty much you know let Kane know what it was. Yeah, I ain't gonna beat a dead horse.
All right, that's my ghost like moment too. All right, and this we come to the end of the show where we about to wrap up. We got some shout outs. Before we shout out, do y'all have any bold predictions that y'all might forecast for next week? Not in the season, just next week only. And if you don't have any, that's fine. But do you have any predictions for next week?
I would say one thing that I seen with the preview, right? You know, and I don't know what this pertaining to, but what I think, all of them was meeting up in the dorm room, right? This is Kane, Diana, Dre, you know, and Tariq. They didn't show him, but I'm quite sure he's in there. And this is when Monet walks in on them. They like, man, what the fuck y'all doing, right? I think they were discussing, you know, like, look, how we gonna get this weight? How we gonna move it here? I think that was being discussed in there, and Monet just busts down the door, and basically like, what the hell is going on? So that's what I think, you know, that's it, that meeting was about. We'll see.
Okay. Stats, you got any?
Not really. I'm waiting for I think that Tariq.
Just for next week.
Just for next week.
Just for next week.
I think Tariq will get some, man, next week. I don't know if it's gonna be Lauren or Diana, but I think Tariq will have his first power sex scene, man. That's a bold prediction, but I mean that's bold. That's going out on a limb. But it's time for Tariq to get some, man.
That's a Merv prediction. You know what I mean? By the way.
Team Tariq, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh shit! Yo, I ain't got nothing behind that. We got a shout out. We got Blackjack TV, Zingo, YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Fellas, if I miss anybody that we got a shout out, who else we got a shout out?
Page. Go to the guys page, man. Go to the guys page.
Yeah. Go to the guys podcast.
Yep.
Make sure you like us. We got a podcast tomorrow where everybody's the whole guys family is together tomorrow at 8:00. Make sure you tune in. We have a show Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, y'all. Monday is a hip hop show. Tuesday is the Power Review / movie review, because sometimes we do movies after Power. Wednesdays is the podcast where we talk about hip hop and sports. That's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We giving y'all information. We give y'all entertainment. So make sure to tune in. If y'all got anything that y'all want us to talk about, go to the guys page, type it in, send it to us, and we discuss it. Just let us know. We appreciate everybody tuning in. All right. Hey, did I miss anything before we salute?
Well, I just wanted to give a shout out to the guys, Gray and Sean. Hell of a show last night. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like Merv say, man, we all coming at you tomorrow as the guys. You know, we branch out Monday, Tuesday, and we all form like Voltron on Wednesday. So come see us on tomorrow. Follow the guys' homepage. I think we digging into guerrilla warfare tomorrow. Look at these dudes' comments. We digging into guerrilla warfare. Classic album by I'm not gonna call it a classic album by the Hot Boys. Featuring the big timers. So we digging into that tomorrow. I think that's it. Like Merv said, shout out to Zingos, shout out to Blackjack TV.
Hey, you just gonna repeat everything I just said, nigga? Like I just said all that already. You just want to speak?
I'm echo.
We got it.
Hey, all right, gentlemen. All right, guys.
All right,
I'll see y'all next time. Peace.
All right, gentlemen. Salute.